Are we heading towards a recession period? Dubs like this one help us answering the ultimate question, when is the best time to invest? Let's start saying that this week has been completely flat for crypto, because a variation of less than 1% is really neglectable, and even all the other altcoins has not increased or decreased of more than 10%. If we look at stocks, the situation is a little bit different. So here is the S&P 500, and we can see that he has fallen down for about a 2%, which is not much, but it's not something that we can just overlook. And when we look at the 1 month period, the situation between stocks and crypto is around the same, because we had a maximum to minimum decrease of around 8.5% and a minimum to now of around 3.3%. And regarding Bitcoin, we had a maximum to minimum of around 25% decrease and a minimum to now 11% increase. However, if we zoom out to around 1 year period, we can see a real difference in here, because regarding stocks, we can actually see an up trend line and a downside trend line, while with the Bitcoin, we can see like an up and down with the minimum increasing and the maximum increasing. And obviously, we can actually see something like a V-shaped recurve as we saw in 2020, but still there is no sign of laterality, as we could see between September and October 2020 and April to August 2019. But still, in 3 years' time, the stock market has gone up of around 60%, and the Bitcoin has gone up of around 450-500%. The increase in price is not obviously a good indicator, because something that has increased a lot can increase more. And something like the price weighted by volume can give us a better opinion on if this is a good time to buy. With Bitcoin, we are going in a situation where it has historically been a good time to buy in, as well as for stocks, it is actually the same. It's not as much as March 2020, but it is still a good time to buy. There are obviously other indicators that we can use. For example, the fear and greed indicator. For stocks, it says that we are in a very fearful moment of a score of around 14, which is less than what we see in the past 3 years, except obviously for March 2020. And the same is happening for crypto, which is very low, not low as much as March 2020 or June, July 2021, but still, it is a good, fearful moment. To cite a great investor like Peter Lynch, we need to consider this time of corrections in price not as disasters, but as a great opportunity to buy something with a great value at a lower price. And this is how great fortunes are made. So is this week a good time to buy? Most definitely. But is it the best time to buy? Well, this depends on how much the price will fall down, which actually depends on what people are fearful of. Because we've seen a global pandemic and inflation rising at around 8%, so almost 4 times more than the average that has been in these 10 years, because the average has been of around 1.8%. Even interest rates are surging up, and there is now a war between Ukraine, which is the greatest supplier of grain to Europe, and Russia, which is Europe's greatest supplier of natural gas. So what could happen next? A recession? Maybe. There is actually one hint, which is the price of banks. If we take JP Morgan as an example, the price has fallen down from the top of December 2021 to now of around 25%, which is a lot more than just the 12% decrease that we've seen in the S&P 500. And this is not related to the fundamentals of JP Morgan, because the price now is actually just a little above what has been on 2018-2019. And this is insane, because the revenue from 2018-2019 has increased by 35%. Its earnings has increased by 54%, and even the dividend has increased of around 25%. It should not be related to war as well, because analysts said that Ukraine and Russia are at maximum a 2-3% of the overall business of JP Morgan. Is it because of interest rates? Hell no. Higher interest rates means higher profitability for banks. JP Morgan is the stable, high cash flow, high profitability business stocks that everyone would want to put their money into in such a period of time. But as we can see, this is not happening at all. And looking back in history, fear towards banks has happened only before recessions. And so this is a hint that we cannot neglect easily, because we know that price of markets usually predict what will happen in the future. So obviously this is just a small hint. I will keep you updated if more hints regarding a recession will happen. And I will end this episode with a gleam of hope regarding fuels prices. Because at least in Italy, fuel prices are dictated by a 60% of the actual price of oil and by a 40% by taxes. So could we ask for a change? And what will the consequences be? Feel free to leave your thoughts in a comment below, thumbs up the video and subscribe if you want to be kept updated. See ya!